Come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Dallas, Texas, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only there. Do you remember this video? We showed it. It went, what they, as the kids say, viral. It got over 500,000 views on our channel. And Don Lemon was trying to convince this gentleman to trust the legacy media. And I'm going to show you. It's very quick. Here, I'll show you.
Who is the real president-elect, do you think?
Donald Trump won, I believe.
Democratic lawmakers in Washington are calling Elon Musk President Musk now, and they're saying Donald Trump is the vice president or the head of communications.
What's? Wait a second. No one said that.
Really? Have you not watched and paid attention to the
Absolutely
news?
not. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing during my day so I can try and get a better life and get ahead.
Okay, do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Why don't you Google right now?
Yes, tell me.
President Musk and see what comes up.
No. But that's already a loaded question, you realize.
Tell me, give me the sources.
Axios, Business Insider.
Oh.
We don't trust
Keep
any
going,
of these. The
keep
common
going,
man doesn't
keep
trust
going,
any of this.
keep going.
ABC News,
Oh,
Washington
keep
Post,
going.
New York Times,
Oh, keep going.
The Atlantic.
Oh!
I don't trust any of these.
Oh!
I don't trust any of them.
Okay.
I don't trust any of these. We're the common man. We don't trust any of these. No one trusts the government. No one trusts the common news. We don't trust any of that anymore.
Well,
Independent news, we are the ones that own the news now. People trust me. They don't trust MSNBC because I care and I'm actually one of them.
I can't disagree with you.
Okay.
Because
Then.
I get a lot of people coming to me saying, I only watch, I don't watch corporate media anymore.
Right.
Well, it sounded like he was disagreeing with that guy until he couldn't anymore. So that gentleman's with us. Will John is here. He's a former professional soccer player who played in the United States in Major League Soccer and several top leagues in Europe, including the Danish Superliga. I know I'm not saying that correctly. And Serbian Superliga. Since 2016, though, he's been producing content on YouTube highlighting the 9 different languages he speaks. Welcome to the show, Will John. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
So,
and Superliga, but
Superliga. Okay.
There you
go. Tell me, how did that come about? You and Don Lemon having that interaction?
Completely by chance. Everyone's asked me since then if this was, some sort of planned interview, but no, I was, just like you said, I was in Washington Square Park in New York, just trying to do that, speak a few languages, talk to the people, ask them about the government and different things. And then my videographer spotted Don. And we didn't really know him. Like, his face. He's been on TV for God knows how long, spewing whatever he says. But he just kind of said, let's interview. And I thought I was going to have a conversation. And instead, he had his talking points, as the mainstream media tends to have. And that was it. He was going to jam it down my throat. And I kind of wasn't having it. So you approached him. He didn't approach you. It was a half and half. I don't know. He saw us because I had a microphone, and that was, kind of drew his attention. But yeah.
And so it seemed to me that he was trying to push back against you at the beginning of that, saying that, well, look, Google Elon Musk and who's president. And you said, of course, that's a loaded question, which it is. And then, of course, you pulled up all these because you're using, I'm guessing, a Google web browser. And so their search engine is going to generate all the corporate news that's positive for the establishment narrative. And, of course, it brings up the Washington Post and Business Week, all that stuff. And he's thinking that that's supposed to convince you. And then did you notice that when you said we don't trust you anymore, we don't trust corporate news, that he goes, oh, well, I have to agree with you. But wasn't that a weird 180 he did?
You see, the thing is that is just a clip of what happened. And if we weren't recording, you never would have seen this exchange. All right. And so the full clip, which we actually have put out, because we obviously, I'm doing our version, the independent news, is on the way of Will John. That was just a portion. He got so flustered and so weirded out by it at the end. Have you seen the comment that he said about our microphones? This kind of
no.
At the end of this, after you obviously point out that he's like, okay, well, I can't disagree with you anymore. He says to me, my mic is bigger than yours. All right. And
are you?
Exactly. My same. Like, all right, well, this is taking a strange turn. And I just said, for now.
Was he saying that literally my mic is bigger than yours, or my platform, my voice, I have a bigger reach than you do?
I think it was, I think that's what he was trying to say. He was just a little flustered. He did not expect this exchange to go how it went. And I saw all of the other interviews he put up that day of the people he interviewed because I saw them as well. And they're cookie cutter, hey, yeah, well, I guess you're right, Don. And like, I don't know, and everyone's just kind of, all right, let me talk to this guy. I don't think anyone had pushed back. And I think that was the problem.
Yeah, they're not used to getting any kind of pushback. And, we saw that when Dave Smith confronted Chris Cuomo over his blatant on-video lies about ivermectin and Joe Rogan and COVID in general, and his lack of, due diligence as a journalist to try to find out where the government and corporations are lying instead of just repeating them uncritically, which is what. And so you see that they just aren't ready for that. They've never been challenged in their entire life. I mean, I remember Glenn Greenwald used to be a staple on MSNBC until he started to push back against Russiagate, and they immediately stopped inviting him on. The same thing with Bill Maher and Glenn Greenwald. As soon as he spanked him over the United States being the world's terrorist in the Middle East, they stopped inviting him on. So that they're not used to this kind of pushback because they don't bring anybody on to give any kind of pushback ever.
They don't want it.
And so when you did that, it just blew his mind, and it was obvious, right?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the issue because he went on. His 3 talking points were the drones, TikTok ban, and Elon Musk is president, and that was it. He didn't have, and that's what kills me about it, is that they don't understand the reason we don't care about the mainstream media anymore is because you can't have a conversation. This can't happen, right? And so because he came there with his prepackaged ideas, he was unable to see that I just thought we were going to talk. Because if you go look at the full interview, I'm just like, hey, let's just kind of, talk about what's going on. Maybe we can learn something, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's the big issue. And so that's why I said, Don, I would, we've since put this out, but I said I would do a better interview than he would give Elon Musk because Elon Musk was one of the ones who retweeted this. And I just think it would be a hilarious full circle moment to the my mic is bigger than yours, if I could do a better interview than he did with Elon. So.
Well, I'm sure after seeing just that snippet of you with Don, you understand the media landscape way better than Don Lemon does, and that I'm sure you would, Don Lemon did push back against Elon Musk when he had his interview with him, but he pushed back on him in the most stupid of ways. And he didn't push back on him where he should, and he pushed back on him where he shouldn't, and he came off looking like a clown who doesn't really know anything, and because he doesn't. And that's exactly why they put him on CNN, because he's very pliable and he'll do whatever the advertisers want him to, and that's why he was so valuable until he started to his sexist side came out, and he started to rip on women and say women are past their prime after they're 40 years old.
Oh, is that what did it?
Yes.
I didn't know what kicked him off. Okay, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, and he wouldn't back down. And he kept saying, no, women are past their prime. And so what he meant, I guess, was their reproductive prime. He wasn't even smart enough to say that. But that's certainly not their worthiness. That isn't based on their ability to reproduce. He couldn't get out of it. And so he played into that stereotype that gay men have a chip on their shoulder against women. And anyway, so let me show you this. So Tab Road tweeted out, the Democrats trying to put a wedge between Trump and Elon might work if they weren't all parroting the exact same talking points every 5 minutes. Contrary to popular belief, American people are not that stupid. We voted for Doge. Well, now MAGA's actually pushing back against Elon and Vivek over some of that. Here's one more I'll show you. The same dumb a-holes who are still ignoring the fact that America has been run by unelected, unnamed, and unaccountable shadow cabal these past 4 years are spreading the BS about Musk, and they wonder why they're circling the drain. Isn't that kind of amazing, right? I mean, now they're all backpedaling and admitting, oh yeah, that Joe Biden actually was demented from day one, and he hasn't been making the decisions or running the country. But now they want to make you think that Elon Musk is doing that. Do you think that'll work?
It's not going to, and it's so funny that you mention it like that, because I spend a good portion of my time reading about the hidden hands and the cabals. C. Wright Mills, the Power Elite, the Devil's Chessboard, David Talbot. And the fact that we're all aware now, and I'm not sure where I saw this, but people get the fact that it's over. It is so over. We get it now, and because of that, I think the issue for them, and for, let's say, not just the Democratic Party, but the mainstream news, is that they don't know what to do next. And like you said, if you employ a bunch of people and put them in as talking heads, then the next thing you have to figure out is, if people don't trust the talking heads, well, who do you control? What do you do? And I think we live in an age now where, and as a matter of fact, I saw you speaking to just another guest you had the other day. The independent news, I really, truly believe, is going to be the future. Like, it wasn't just a joke when I was just saying that. I think we are at a point now where we can push, and you want to hope and believe that the mainstream, we will turn it into something that we all believe in again. I'm not sure if we're going to see that ever.
Well, more people get their news. I think I saw the headline that Twitter is now the #1 news source for people in the world, and they more people get their news from Twitter, which is, there are corporate journalists on there for sure, but there's lots of that. The reason you go to Twitter isn't to get the spin from corporate news. You go to get the independent news perspective and their facts and figures, which is what I do. And we're finding out all kinds of things every day about everything, including things about Elon and Vivek and Donald Trump that you won't get in the corporate media. The corporate media's pushback against Donald Trump is completely different than the pushback that we give Donald Trump at this show.
Yes.
And so that they hated him again, just like Don Lemon hated Elon Musk for all the wrong reasons. They also hated Donald Trump for all the wrong reasons. And, like I say, if you think that the establishment hates Donald Trump because he's a politician who went to Washington, D.C. and started lying, I've got a vaccine I'd like to sell you. Because the whole system runs on lies. And as we just saw over the last 4 years, it's all been one big gaslight session of lying to you about who's really running the country. And those corporate news people still aren't asking who's really running the country. They won't ever ask that. Let me ask you before I let you go, let me ask you about, I've showed this clip on my show plenty, but in 2016 or 17, Donald Trump was being very vocal, speaking out against what he called the deep state, which is CIA, NSA, the FBI, and he was correct in doing that. We all know they're corrupt now. And Rachel Maddow was interviewing Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer said he's being really dumb to criticize the intelligence community because they've got 6 ways to Sunday to get back at you. And now, what that revealed was that the FBI, CIA don't really work for the president, that the president better be afraid of the intelligence community. And by the way, they're the permanent, they don't get every 4 years recycled. They're there forever, for decades and decades, right? So they're what's called the permanent state, the deep state. And so what Chuck Schumer, the head of the Democratic Party at that moment, revealed was that they don't work for the president. And so the next question should have been, well, who do they work for?
Exactly.
So who do you think they work for?
That's a way more complex question, because that's where I center a whole lot of my interviews on. But if I'm honest, the whole thing comes down to motive, and cui bono, right? We saw that through the virus that shall not be named, and you see it throughout everything that's happening here, in our world. So who they are and who they're working for is the right question. Getting to the answer is tough. And just to bring it back, their motives don't align, meaning the deep state, their motives do not align with the common people. This is the problem. Mainstreams do not align with the common people. This is the issue. And because we don't know, and we all run around trying to elect the president, meanwhile having the deep state and everyone else fighting to do what it is that they do, we're lost in this system. And that's the disconnect that we're having. And I think that's why everyone, is kind of feeling this anger and this resentment towards all that. It's because there's a massive disconnect between the deep state, the elite, and us sitting over here just trying to enjoy our lives and make things better for everybody.
And so What kind of content do you do on your YouTube channel?
Well, I have 3, right? So my company is based in 3. I mean, I'm sitting here in front of jerseys because I'm a professional footballer. I'm actually not finished, funny enough. All the news media has put me there as former, but that's just because I haven't signed for a new club yet. So I have football content, but on my podcast and stuff, we have on everybody. I've had on intelligence officials, guys from the military, Army Rangers, CIA guys, everything you name it, plus a bunch of different guys in spiritual. And then I have my language community, where I speak 9 languages and I just run around the streets surprising people. It's always funny to see a black guy. I appreciate, by the way, your nomer for me, regular American black guy. It's great. It's great because no one expects the regular American black guy to speak Croatian or all these other things, and that's what I do on my other content.
So after you learned 8 languages, were you like, you know what? Let's go for one more. What was that about?
The goal is actually 10. I'm one shy of my 16-year-old dream.
Now, is this just so you can get laid in Europe, or what are you doing this for?
Yeah. No, you know what? It's also necessity. You play in Eastern Europe. I mean, I could get laid without, being a professional athlete. It I'm all right there. But it's a good bonus. And not to mention, in Eastern Europe, you need it. They don't speak English like everywhere else. So.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. Boy, I'm jealous. I'll certainly. I took Spanish for 2 years in high school and a year in college. I can't speak.
Come on over. That's what we do. I teach. I got a whole course and everything. We'll teach you. Get you going speaking soon.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you think of those apps? There's these apps that are going around.
They're shit, Jimmy.
They're not good?
They're shit. Duolingo is trash.
Is it?
They're so afraid to say that all the people, because I'm not part of the linguist community, so I can say that Duolingo is trash. It's gotten a little bit better, but it's trash. Stop wasting your time.
Really?
Real language learners don't do that. We don't do it. If you want to learn, there are ways to learn. We act like we don't know. Oh my God, how do we learn another language? We know how to do it. It's easier for me to make you get some hearts and scroll and, all the games. They're messing with you the same way Facebook and all the rest of them do.
Where do you teach this language?
GolaremiLanguages.com. That's it. And Golaremi Languages is the YouTube channel, so I put up a bunch of free stuff. It's not like I'm just trying to sell all of that. There's tons of free ideas. Golaremi Languages, the YouTube channel. You can see me. I'm not one of the fake polyglots. As a matter of fact, one of the linguists just reviewed my Italian and said I speak tremendous and near native. So I don't fake it. I speak more than the 9 that I claim. These 9 I can hold a conversation in.
Oh, okay. Do you speak billionaire?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Will John, I really appreciate you making time. That was a great clip. Everybody should check out his multiple YouTube channels, I guess. And I guess I'll be checking out your language one for sure. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Come see us on tour in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Dallas, Texas, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only there.